What's up? I'm Shani and you're watching It's Style Theory. You can find new reviews of Pretty Little Liars every Thursday on my channel, so subscribe. Today I'm going to be talking about Pretty Little Liars Season 4, Episode 19, Shadow Play. I'm so excited to talk about this episode because I thought it was so cool. I'm going to admit I was a little worried that it would be a little boring. I don't know why. It was not boring at all. Pretty Little Liars is never boring. I love this episode. As usual, I'm going to do a show review and then I'm going to talk about my predictions and theories. So, in this episode, Spencer, Hannah, and Emily find Allison's journal in Ezra's classroom. Emily thinks that they found it a little bit too easily. And they also see Mona leaving the classroom with something. They think she's delivering something to Ezra. Before the world turns black and white, we see Arya and Ezra driving home, and Arya talks about this writing assignment she's working on. It's about a villain because villains are interesting to her, and Ezra asks her what happens to the villain. Arya's like, sometimes the villain wins, and Ezra's like, yeah, sometimes. Later on, Spencer's at home reading a book, and there's a black and white show on TV, and she goes to take some more pills, and like she hears a gunshot in the TV show, and all of a sudden she is in this black and white world, or this noir world. It's really cool. It's not just black and white. The whole house has like gone back to 50s, and like her whole outfit's changed, the telephone's changed, the furniture's changed, and there's a giant portrait of Allison in their living room on the wall. Right before everything turns black and white for Spencer, she says this quote that goes, "Down these main streets, a man must go who is not himself mean." So now everything's black and white 50s, and Spencer is at the cafe and she bumps into Ezra. Ezra offers to buy her coffee. I think it's only like 15 cents or something, and he apologizes for their conversation that happened in the school in the last episode. Ezra says something like, yeah, can we move on or something, and Spencer's like, yeah, and Ezra's like, cross your heart and hope to die. And I was like, oh, Ezra, you had to. And Spencer's like, no. And while they're at the cafe, Ezra offers to buy Spencer dinner if she's ever at that bar again, which, yeah, I thought it was strange that he would offer to buy her dinner. Toby plays a really big part in this episode. He first comes into Spencer's house when she first takes the pills and everything turns black and white. Toby starts like interrogating her, or like asking her a lot of questions about the pills and about what's been going on with her. And then later on, he's seen talking to Ezra at the cafe, which I thought was strange as well, because Toby and Ezra, have they ever talked before? And I was like, wait, they're friends? Ezra tells Toby that he knows that Allison is alive and that Spencer knows about it, and so then Toby goes to talk to Spencer and he interrogates her again, but they're in some kind of place and he's dressed like a detective. Spencer just starts to get stressed out because she's super sleepy. Spencer gives Hannah the assignment of following Mona. She follows Mona. Hannah ends up in Ezra's apartment. Mona calls Spencer to come get Hannah, and so Hannah, Mona, Spencer, and Ezra are all in Ezra's apartment. And that's even more strange than anything else that ever happened in the episode. And so yeah, basically the episode just kept getting stranger and stranger. And so Mona was like hanging out at Ezra's apartment. Like they were friends. And then Spencer and Hannah leave. Emily talks to Paige about Shauna, but Paige doesn't want to talk about Shauna. Does she not want to talk about Shauna because she's hiding something? Or does she just not want to talk about Shauna? And then Arya talks to Paige. But Arya's conversation with Paige is kind of interesting. Then at home, Spencer sees Allison. Spencer's like, God, for once, Allison, can you just give me some real answers? And Allison's like, you have all of the facts that you need. You just need to put them together. So later on, the four girls are together because Hannah found Allison by tracking down her phone number. So the four girls go to this theater. They meet Allison in the dressing room, and Allison is like, why did you come here? I told you not to look for me. And they have a little confrontation there because Allison is mad at Spencer she's like, why do you guys keep listening to Spencer? Why don't you guys think for yourselves? And Spencer's like, yeah, why don't we start thinking for ourselves? And then Arya's like, Allison, I think I liked you better when you were dead. There's a gunshot, and so the 4 girls start running, and they run through the theater, and they end up like in this basement place, and it's creepy, and they hear Ezra's voice. Like, Arya, are you there? Come on, it's safe. I'm here to get you. And the other girls are like, Arya, don't listen to him, but they just can't get it out of their mouths that he's A, and that's why they just can't seem to be able to say, Arya, Ezra is board shorts. As simple as that would be. Well, not simple, but you know what I mean. And so they don't, and Arya goes to Ezra, but Toby has hit Ezra, and Ezra's on the ground, passed out, and they all jump into Toby's car, except for Allison, who goes off somewhere else. And they all drive away, and Arya's like, what? Why did Toby hit Ezra? And they still can't tell her. Then Spencer wakes up from what was a daydream the whole time. Now let me just say, the whole episode I was watching thinking that everything was happening for real. It was just Spencer was experiencing it that way. A mix of hallucination and actuality. So, knowing that whole thing was a daydream, we had to think about it in a different way, but we can still learn a lot from it. I think the producers said we would learn a lot in this episode, and even besides that, I think we should assume that all the strange things that happened in the black and white world were clues. Yeah, let's talk about this episode. Okay, let's start with the Ezra and Mona thing. Even before this episode, I had been suspecting that Ezra was either cheating on Arya with Mona, or they were working together. And then in this episode, we see that Mona's hanging out at Ezra's apartment as if she's dating him, or they're friends, and they're really close friends because he just asked her to like make food for the guests and stuff. I think that's a clue that they're obviously working together, or they're actually together. The girls are obviously really scared about having to tell Arya that they think Ezra's board shorts. Either that, or since this was Spencer's reality, I guess just Spencer is really scared about having to tell her. And I would be too. She's Arya, and he's Ezra. Based on the way Allison acted, maybe Allison, like some of us suspected, this was a clue that Allison has been playing with the girls the whole time, or is playing with them now. Because she was really rude in this episode, like in the daydream, she was rude. Toby played such a big part in everything that there's something going on with Toby. Why was he talking to Ezra? Like, why was that? Was that just because this was a crazy daydream, or because he has a connection to Ezra? But yeah, Toby played such a big part in this episode. It makes me think, and it makes me wonder, is there something going on with Toby? But the way that, okay, so is it possible that Toby is working for Ezra? I don't think he would do that, but it's possible. But Toby did save the girls from Ezra in this also, so. Then again, it wasn't a daydream. And then Paige. I have always suspected Paige. I haven't completely dropped that suspicion because God knows when you drop a suspicion on somebody in this show, it ends up coming back later. I was watching season 1 the other day, and yeah, we all suspected that Toby was A in the beginning, and then we dropped that suspicion, or I dropped that suspicion, and then he ended up being on the A team later. So who knows who's on the A team. But okay, I have a few new ideas actually since last week, because I watched a lot of theory videos last week, and so yeah, I have some new theories. So yeah, now I'm going to talk about my theories and predictions for the show. So this might come as a shock, but I have this new theory about the A-Team. I think that Arya could be Big A. I've never thought that before. I think that Arya could be Big A, and that below her is Ezra, who's on the A-Team. And I think that Ren is on the A-Team working with Ezra. And I think Mona's working with them too. Those are the main people, I think. Yeah. So I watched these theory videos about why Arya could be Big A, and they have like some really good points. So one of the videos brought up the point that in the theme song, Arya's the only one that goes like this. And for some reason, I never really made a big deal out of that before I thought about what it can mean. But yeah, it could totally mean that she's the only one that's hiding something. Or that she knows something that all the other girls don't. Like in this other picture where they're all sitting around the table, the murder weapon is pointed to Arya. Some people think that Arya could have like two different personalities. Some quote about when you look in the mirror, you'll see your true colors or something, and Arya is always seen looking in mirrors. And there are so many more points to why Arya could be A and that I saw in these videos. But like one more thing is, I was watching the pilot episode again the other day with my sisters because they're starting the show, and I noticed that in the pilot episode, the show, like the whole show starts off like kind of making it seem like Arya is the main character, because it starts off with her family getting home from Iceland. It like starts off with them, and then it shows Arya standing in her room looking in a mirror. And what I'm learning is nothing is coincidental. Every little thing in the show means something. So why show Arya looking in a mirror for like 30 seconds as the opening scene of us seeing her? And there's a lot that I noticed about the pilot episode looking back at it after being this far into the show. I'm sad because there's only like 2 episodes left of the season, right? But I'm also excited because I heard we're going to be getting a lot of answers. It seems like Spencer has some suspicions that Shauna could be lying about her past and lying about Georgia and stuff. Yeah, it does seem a little suspicious. Like, we don't know that much about Shauna. We've never seen Shauna's parents. We've never seen her family. Maybe they still live in Georgia, but like, we don't know that much about her. I predict that she'll be coming back before the season's over, and I hope we learn more about her. You know what would be really like twisted? If it ended up that like the whole time we were on the sides of the wrong people, and like Hannah, Emily, Spencer, and Arya actually like murdered Allison and stuff, and they were actually the bad guys, and like, but this whole time we didn't want them to be because we were seeing everything from their point of view, and like people like Detective Holbrook and that other detective lady, they're actually right, like looking into the girls. That would be twisted, but maybe something like that will happen. Okay, so that's it for this review. Comment below, tell me what you thought of this episode. What are your theories and predictions for the show? Who do you think is Big A? And what do you think is gonna happen in the next few episodes as the season comes to an end? I know some people on like the PLL Facebook page and like other places have been saying that they're ready for the show to end. I don't want the show to ever end, okay? I don't even care what they have to do to make it stretch on. I don't want it to ever end. This is like the best show ever. And I've seen a lot of good shows. Avatar: The Last Airbender is like above all the best show, but like below that, Battlestar Galactica, Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, Pretty Little Liars is like one of the best shows I've ever seen, and I do not want it to end. Like when it ends, oh my god, like millions of people are gonna have like some serious like withdrawal symptoms and like problems, because like how are we expected to live without the show? Like, I don't even remember like before the show. Yes, I have a life outside of the show. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Like my Facebook page, facebook.com/ShaniDrakeMusic. The link is in the description. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, @ShaniDrakeLove. All of the links are in the description. And I will see you next time. Until then, can you keep a secret? So, Flappy Bird. God, every time I play this game, honestly, the reason I haven't gotten farther yet is because I get so darn frustrated that I don't want to keep playing. You can find new reviews of Pretty Little Liars okay. I am happy to announce that you can now expect to see, Okay, let's start over. So subscribe. So you should subscribe if you like my reviews. Okay, so I'm doing today I'm going to be talking about Pretty Little, why can't I talk already? Shadow Play. Because that is what it was called, right?